Hey guys, Grumpy here with episode 25 of our Zero to Hero Let's Play as Mercury Guy. So in the previous episode, I think we ended around 6-ish mil. Today was a very fortunate day. We blew past our goal of 8 mil. Now we're at 11.6. So we're starting off here near Umbra because I want to show you where you can get the things that you'll need for colonies for very cheap. So in order to establish a colony, you need 1,000 crew. I believe you need 100 or 200 supply, and then you need 100 heavy machinery. So this is where you get crew from. This is where I typically get my crew from. I go to Umbra. Okay, if the pirates want to participate. The reason I go to Umbra is because crew usually sells from anywhere as low as 6, I've seen, all the way up to about 15 credits is where it max out per crew. The normal price for crew is around 40, so you end up saving there. Chalcedon, it looks like, is the only other place with cheaper crew, but we're already here at Umbra, so usually Chalcedon's crew is not this low. There must be something else going on. Anyway, we can go ahead and grab crew. We'll just max it out. We need about 3,000. You need 3,000 for your colonies, but you also need enough crew to maintain your fleet. So don't forget to leave some excess crew behind so that you can man your ships. All right, and then we'll grab another 1,100 plus 3 is 4,000. All right. About 40, let's go for 4,300. Okay, so that takes care of the crew requirement. We have enough crew to settle 3 colonies. Alright. Then let's go ahead and use the gate. Okay. Pirates keep using interdict. That's fine. We'll use the gate and we'll go travel over to Isara, and we're gonna take a stop by Captain Starworks. So Captain Starworks is where we're gonna get our supplies from. Captain Starworks has an orbital works in it, so they produce heavy machinery, heavy armaments, and supplies. So if we go over here, we look at the trade colony. They have an orbital works, so they produce heavy machinery, heavy armaments, supplies. It looks like they have a deficit. I assume. What could be causing that? Oh, they have heavy batteries, but they don't produce enough supplies in order to feed their heavy batteries. So you can see they have a 1 supply deficit. If they could fulfill this, if they had like an AI core or something, then they would be well, I guess they wouldn't be producing excess supplies. They would just produce net neutral supplies. Anyway, here you can get cheap heavy machinery. So here it's 88, whereas normally I believe it's 100. Normally it's around 125, but here you can get it for very cheap. So we need, actually, we'll just buy the maximum amount. That's fine, because we'll need some for our, again, you'll need some for your own fleet, so don't use all your heavy machinery for your colonies. Then for supplies, I think we need 200 per planet. We have enough. Let's just buy some more. Yeah, let's swing by Asher. Well, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll pay the markup, the 118. It saves us some time from going to Asher. But anyway, this is all you need to go settle your colonies. This is the fleet, by the way. It was shuffled again. We may or may not have suffered some losses in between, but this is the new fleet. It's a much wider midline. So now there are 4 strikes, whereas before I think there was only 1 or 2. We now have 4. Same Eradicator. We're introducing the Conquest. The conquest is just there in case I go against a bounty that is just a little too large. I normally don't deploy this in fights, but it being an anchor means that if we deploy it, we can form kind of a defensive line around it and then use it to push forward into the enemy. And then same thing. The only thing that's new is the Starliner, and the only reason the Starliner is here is just because its maximum crew capacity is almost 3,000. So that's why we're bringing it. Once we establish our colony, we'll probably end up ditching it, but it's in the fleet for now. I gained a couple of character levels, so this is the current character progression. I'll probably respec this a little later on, especially because we're about to get into colonies, and industrial planning is going to be very nice for growing our colony, or for making our colony profitable faster. Okay, as we hit every single asteroid on the way out. Alright, let's go ahead and jump over to MAM. And let's settle our colonies. Alright, we'll go ahead and jump out. Oh, the gates are such a good quality of life. I'm really glad that they're in the game. Alright, and our worlds are here in Delta Brea. I forgot the transplutonics and the metals. So we'll make one quick pit stop. It's no worries. We're jumping into the star, which is really bad. You never want to do that. Okay. We'll go ahead and travel. We'll just go to Zagan. Nice quick hop. Alright. I don't know why I picked Zagan. We are hostile. Well, Tritakian's hostile with the Persians. So, really don't want to hop into a system with Persian dominance. Alright, do you produce transplutonics? Who produces transplutonics? Would we be able to tell? Well, I know where we can get some. This would probably be faster if we just went to Myasora. I believe we need 10 transplutonics and 100 metal per makeshift relay. Alright. Actually, I'm gonna guess that Mariath is right here. Let's see if I'm correct. Nope. It was one further back. Okay. That's close enough. Alright. Let's just grab all the transplutonics. We'll grab some of the metals. I'm glad we came back here anyway. We can grab our AI cores. Also grab some fuel. And I think that's it. I'm gonna leave the weapons behind until later. We can still use Myasora as a nice staging ground in case we ever need to come down to the core worlds and, you know, start fighting somebody, or if we want to raid some more merchant convoys. We have an armory here. Alright. Okay. Yeah, let's just jump back in here. Alright. Alto's domestic goods. I'm not really a fan of Nebula's inside of systems. It's a bit much. Alright. Let's jump out. Let's establish our 3 colonies, and then we'll build our makeshift relays. So we already discussed the reasons why these are 3 good planets. Also, I made a beginner's guide to colonization, which goes into a lot of detail on picking your first few planets to settle. This isn't the right system. Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. Okay. But just a quick refresher. The reason that I'm picking this system to start in is, one, it's kind of near the core worlds. Well, one, there are 4 diverse planets in this system. They all have the base resources that we need. So we have organics, food, volatiles, and then both types of ores, namely in this planet. These are really good modifiers, so we can support these planets with domain artifacts. So they're going to be very high producing worlds, very rich worlds. They have low hazard ratings, so 200%, 150, 125. In the system itself, there are 3 stable locations. That's the maximum that you can get. 1, 2, and 3. And then they're also near the core worlds, and they're also near a gate in MAM right here, the one that we've been interfacing with. So it's a pretty great system. We were very lucky to find it early on. As you see, like, we haven't done much exploration outside of that. This isn't the be all end all. Obviously, we'll go ahead and settle additional worlds in other systems, but we just haven't explored that far. Anyway, to begin our small empire, we're going to go ahead and colonize the water world, so it's uninhabited right now. If we consider other factors, there's nothing, we're not aware of any major factors that would affect our colony. Okay, there's no one else in the system, we know that. Now we can go ahead and establish colony. And I like to name my colonies after ghosts, so we will name this one, actually we'll name this one, we'll name this one Ghast. I like it. Alright. We will name this one, I just hit random a couple times. Labdench Alliance, Sarkad Pact, Gamish Core, Drago Collaboration. You know what? We'll name this one Mercury Group. Why not? The Mercury Group is AN, and then we'll do HLS. A HLS Intrepid. The HLS Intrepid, a Mercury Group courier ship, reports that after heavy fighting, the Mercury Group is now in control of the Corvus star system. Alright, that makes sense to me. We'll go ahead and pick the correct flag, which is the one with the skull on it. We'll hit confirm. And this is our first colony. So, couple things going on here. A little housekeeping we need to do. First of all, we need to use stockpiles during shortages. Always make sure that you click this button. What it'll do is, in case one of your convoys are ever raided or something and a colony can't get supplies for that month, then it'll just take supplies from the colony itself, which you'll see in a second where you can deposit your goods. Next up, we're gonna click on hazard pay. What hazard pay is gonna do is it is going to add additional growth rate to your colony at the cost of some credits per month. The cost is going to be based on the hazard rating, so the more hazardous a planet is, the more you have to compensate people to migrate to it. Then we're going to activate Freeport status, but we have to wait 1 in-game day to do that. If you try to click it, it says requires a fully constructed spaceport. That isn't true. You can do it from the command window. Which, can we do it right now? Yes. No, we can't. We have to wait 1 in-game day. Alright, that's fine. And after that, there's nothing else really we can do with the planet until the spaceport is built. Population and infrastructure requires a lot of resources. It's going to have negative stability for now. But once the spaceport is built, they'll be able to draw resources in from other planets. So we'll go into a little more detail, going over like the colony UI once the colony is a little further along. But all you need to know at the very beginning is activate hazard pay and use stockpiles during shortages. You want to get your growth rate up as high as possible, because you want your colony to get to growth colony size 6 as quickly as possible. All right. These are some industries you can build. We'll get to that in a second. For now, we'll just wait until the spaceport is done. All right. Let's head over here to the gas giant. We'll go ahead and establish this colony as well. Oh, it is okay. It's 1,100 and 200 supply. All right. We'll go ahead and establish our second colony. We'll name this one Wraith. Okay. Activate hazard pay, use stockpiles during shortages, and then we'll head over to this one. We want the one with extreme heat, not the one with that's just hot. We'll lay in a course, and we'll go ahead and establish that one. It's on the other side of the planet, of the sun. Try not to get blown away by the coronal winds. Alright, and we'll go ahead and establish this one as well. And we'll name this one Banshee. Alright, same thing, hazard pay, use stockpiles during shortages. As you see, this one costs significantly more to go ahead and establish it. That's not entirely fair. The problem is actually, and I didn't even consider this, we're actually over our colony limit right now. So all three of them are gonna say that, huh? Yeah. I forgot about that. You can only personally manage 2 colonies. So right now, all of our colonies that we're managing have a -2 stability. I don't know why I forgot that. All right. Huh. Well, all right. I'm not gonna recommend you do this. I'm gonna do this right now. I'm gonna go ahead and install an alpha core to bring down our personal governing colonies. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna immediately go find another administrator and replace this alpha core as soon as possible. Having an alpha core on your planet is a great way to generate threat with the Ludic path and the hegemony, and Tritachyon. Basically, everyone in the system is going to want to hunt you down and take this alpha core from you. So that's just there as a very, 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 very temporary measure. It's not even going to be there for more than 2 months at most. Alright. But those are our 3 planets. Everything is good to go. If we check our command window, we have Gas, Wraith, and Banshee. See, even though the spaceport isn't built, you can activate Freeport status. That is going to lower your stability, but it's going to increase your access, and it's also going to increase your growth rate. Alright, so let's go ahead and activate all 3 of those. Okay. Next up, we need to go ahead and build our makeshift relays. So we're going to start with the comm relay. What this is going to do is it's going to add 1 stability for all of our colonies. And it's also going to give us access to the same information that the core worlds get. So being in this system, we're going to be able to get updates to missions, to bounties. We're going to learn about merchant convoys, pirate bases, pather bases, all that. Alright, next up, what I like to build is the nav relay. So we can go ahead and build a nav buoy. Alright, and then finally we're going to go ahead and build the sensor array. Now, of the 3, I think the comm relay is critical. You need the comm relay if you want to have a successful colony. Then the nav buoy is a nice quality of life. And then the sensor array, I mean, If you can't build it, then it's not the end of the world. Okay. But that is our system. So now what we have to do, actually, let's check something real quick. We have to find a freelance administrator. Oh, hello. I don't know where you came from. Okay. Sometimes you can check the comm directory and there'll be an administrator waiting there for you. Alright. Nice. So our first building has been built. It is the spaceport. As you see, those maladies went away, so we no longer have shortages. Because right now what's happening is we're importing goods from other planets. Um, our colonies don't produce anything, so right now we're paying other factions for the goods that we need. But eventually, as our colonies grow, we can wean ourselves off of the other colonies and become self-sufficient. So that's why I like to settle 3 colonies at once, because it creates that you end up creating those goods faster than if you were to settle one colony after another. Each colony has about I'd say a 3 or 4 cycle lead time before it becomes like profit producing. So if you do all 3 at once, yes, it is very, very expensive, but you get 3 colonies producing at the end of like cycle 5, producing a lot more money versus stretching your colonies over 15 cycles. Alright, so first thing I like to do is I like to upgrade it to a megaport. This is very important. This is going to increase your stability and also increase your growth, and it's going to increase your accessibility. Then I like to build the orbital station. There's not really a difference between these 3. They're all proficient. Midline is probably the best, like the strongest. So we'll go for midline. And what the orbital station is going to do is it's also going to produce, it's going to provide stability to your colony. So let's go to the colony list. Let's go ahead. Oh, we can't build it yet. Okay. Now we can. Let's go ahead and build the orbital station. We'll again build the midline station. And we also need to upgrade this. Now, the reason I build the orbital station first and the way I'm going to build the buildings is I want to build the buildings first that can be upgraded, because you can upgrade as many buildings as you want at the same time, whereas you can only build one building at a time. So build the buildings first that can be upgraded, then build your industries, other like single buildings that don't have multiple stages to them. Alright, let's go ahead and check the comm directory. Oh, we have an officer. Timid, no. Sorry, we don't have room for a timid officer. And then nothing there. Alright. We need to make it into the core worlds post haste. We need to find a we can build the orbital station now. We need to find a freelance administrator as soon as possible. I don't know why it slipped my mind that you can only have two colonies at once. Alright. We want to go to a system that has a lot of bases that we can check all at once. We'll go to Galatia because Samara does have 4 colonies, or not 4 colonies, but 4 4 colonies that we can check. I was looking for the word, I had it the entire time. Alright, let's go ahead and move on. Okay. Let's jump in here. Let's make sure we're not hostile. Tritachyon. Okay. Well, Tritachyon's hostile with the hedge, so we can't go with that plan. Let's head over to magic then. I'm glad I checked. I would not want to be attacked right now by the hedge. Alright, let's go ahead and pivot. Let's go ahead and pivot over here. Okay. Thankfully, administrators aren't too rare to come by. So it shouldn't be that difficult to source them. Alright. I am a little uncomfortable though, leaving the AI core behind. Yes. No, that's your administrator. So you'll see administrator here. That's the administrator of the planet. That's not the that's not a freelance administrator. Alright, depends what you can do. Steady and you have damage control. That's not that good of a skill. And while we do need officers, we're not so needy that we'll take any officer. Steady is a good temperament though. You can upgrade it to aggressive. Alright. You have helmsmanship and gunnery implants. And you are aggressive already. Still, that's not really what we're looking for. So we'll go ahead and pass on that. And then let's head over here to Kenta's Den and see if the pirates have an administrator for us. One of the upsides of looking for an administrator is that we're going to find a lot of officer candidates. Combat endurance, now that is a great skill. And you're reckless, which is good because we can back you down to aggressive. And you have gunnery implants, so we'll go ahead and hire you. That sounds good. The reason I want combat endurance is because a lot of my ships end up having safety overrides, and combat endurance offsets the penalty of safety overrides, which is that your peak performance time is cut in 1/4 by safety overrides. Alright, let's go ahead and mentor you. Yes, we'll go ahead and mentor you, and we'll step you down from reckless to aggressive. Reckless is okay for some carriers. Sometimes your carriers don't do a good job allocating their bombers, so sometimes putting a reckless officer in a carrier can be an okay solution. Also, in a Griffin, a reckless officer is really good because they'll more liberally use their missiles. Alright, but aggressive is good enough for what we need. Fantastic, and we'll go ahead and give you a strike. Sure. Alright, so a bus there. Let's head over to AOS Exodus. Yeah, we'll head over to AOS Exodus. And let's see if we can't find an administrator there. Ooh, it is a race against the clock. The longer we have our core there, the more likely it is that we'll get inspected by the hedge. Alright. Let's head over here to Betis. Also, we need to activate that gate. Alright. Freelance administrator, fantastic. So here we have Stuart Boyer. Let's talk to him. Depends on what you can do. You ask Stuart Boyer some questions to establish where his skills lies. It quickly becomes apparent that he has no special talents, but nonetheless is a capable administrator whose services can be had for a very reasonable fee. Okay, so there are two types of administrators in the game. There used to be more, but they've been reduced since the 0.951 update. Administrators that have no skills but cost you very little month to month, and then administrators that have industrial planning, which adds +1 resources to all of your industries. So go ahead and hire him. He's gonna cost 5,000 to hire, and then he's gonna cost 2,500 a month. That's nothing. Sounds good. We'll go ahead and hire you, and we'll go ahead and put you on Banshee. Cool. All right, fantastic. So now we're no longer over our limits. We are being the Banshee is being administered by something that isn't an alpha core, so we don't have to worry about hedge inspections. We are good to go. So I'm gonna end the episode here. Um, the episodes are gonna move a lot quicker now that we're in the colonization stage. We're gonna go ahead and develop the rest of the planets. Yes, we're gonna go ahead and develop the rest of the planets. I'll show you kind of my guide that I build my planets in. Talk about how they're gonna work together, and then move on to the end game, which is going to be looking for a faction to remove from the game, because I feel like that is a good ending point that shows you, like, if you can do that, then you have totality over the game. And I think that's a good spot to end the Let's Play. If you guys have any other ideas of where to end the Let's Play or any goals that you have in mind, please leave it in the comments. Other than that, Grumpy out.